Hello and welcome to Alfred and Dixon at the Movies. And you may be wondering why we're changing the name. It's so that we're better able to be searched in YouTube.
Yes.
So I am the father, Rich Alfred.
I'm the son, Ben Dixon.
Today we're going to be talking episode 3 with our latest movie. And Ben, what is the movie we're going to discuss today?
Today we're going to be discussing Knowing, starring Nicolas Cage, which I don't think his career is going well right now. Anyway,
and if Nicholas, if you're watching, I don't know who this is.
Anyway, but it's basically about a dad who finds a sheet of numbers that comes from his son's school's time capsule during their 50th anniversary. And at first he thinks it's just a random sequence of numbers. They don't have any meaning. But what he finds out is that within the numbers are the dates, death tolls, and GPS coordinates of every major global disaster that's happened between 1959 and 2009. And he's found out that there are 3 events that haven't happened yet that are at the end of the list. And he has to try to go around and try to break the chain, break the prediction, and hopefully try to save people.
Knowing actually came out in 2009, and when it came out then, it caused a lot of chatter in the film community. Some people found it really profound. Other people found it total claptrap, and they had problems believing it. It did have the advantage of sort of connecting in with, a lot of people were already kind of interested in the Mayan prophecy and looking kind of things. And that is one of the things that actually Knowing does really well. It's in my opinion, it's a really good movie. About the end of the world. This is our second end of the world film, but in a row, we're gonna be happier in later episodes.
Yeah.
But what Knowing does do is it like any thriller like this, it has to set a good mood, and it generates a really good mood by combining 2 things. It combines sort of pseudoscience, a lot of urban legend kind of things, like documents that ancient documents that people can't decipher. Of course, we've had several of those throughout our history of the planet, and it also combines it with modern sort of science events like solar flares, which do occasionally happen and can cause disruption to cell phones and things like that. And so what it does is it combines that urban legend stuff with the scientific stuff, although it ramps up the scientific stuff to a better level, to a bigger level than normal. And so combined, it creates a really top-notch thriller, which pulls you into that mood, and you start to identify with Nicolas Cage. So Nicolas Cage is a professor at MIT. He's also recently lost his wife, and he's a single father. And so I could relate to his character quite a bit, all the things that he was going through as he's trying to still make sense of his life after the death of his wife, and still raises his really smart, precocious son. As you can tell, I had no problems relating to his character. He drinks more than I do. But anyway, and so it did suck me in very well. Ben, what did you think?
I actually thought it was really good, and I had to watch it a second time because the first time I saw it on cable, on TV, and I didn't really like it much because it was last year and everyone was talking about, the world's going to end this year. And also last summer we had a lot of ozone action days where the sun looked really bright. So I really thought that the next day would be like what happens at the end of Knowing. I hope that wasn't a spoiler alert. But in fact, I told my friends that when I'm an adult, I wanted to take this DVD and destroy it and yell at it. It's like, that's because of my childhood fear. But,
I guess what Ben is saying in there is that it was really effective. It really got under his skin, and it is a scary thriller. I mean, it does do it. I mean, it's not it kind of bridges a lot of genres, I would say. It's slightly sci-fi, it's slightly horror, all kinds of things.
Yeah. But we watched it again yesterday, and now that the whole 2012 thing is behind us, and the next end of the world date is not for another 23 years, It was actually pretty good, and there's no reason to be scared of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thrill ride. I mean, obviously, most of the theories that it espouses are claptrap, and it kind of does. Also, like I said, this document that has all the numbers, and they kind of try and figure it out. I mean, there are shades of Nostradamus in this. There are shades of lots of things like that in there. But we hear about this stuff all the time, and it always turns out to be untrue.
Yeah.
But it is a wonderful little thriller. Rose Byrne is also in there. We didn't mention her.
Yeah.
She plays the daughter of a girl who saw all this coming back in 1959. There's a prologue involving a time capsule, which is how this all gets started. But overall, I mean, it's a really top-notch thriller. It's a lot of fun. Don't get caught up with it. It's not scientifically factual. It's not realistic in any way. But if you want to get scared for a good end of the world thriller, this is about as good as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much that.
Okay. So we're doing fist pumps. So let's see, Ben, what's your fist pump rating for Knowing?
I would give it 3.
Three fist bumps. All right. I would give it 3.5 fist bumps. I thought it was really, really super effective. So if you can, check out Knowing.
All right.
And next week we are going to be starting the next couple of episodes. We're going to be. Yeah, you will be in a second. We're going to be talking about the Oscar nominees for Best Picture.
Yep.
And Ben, what will we talk about next week?
Next week, I don't know if you can really see it. You can't see it. But next year we'll be talking about Next week. What did I say?
Next year. Anyway, go ahead.
Next week we'll be talking about Silver Linings Playbook, which we saw and really liked, but we'll get more into that next week.
Yep. So up until then, we'll see you next week. We're Alfred and Dixon at the movies.
Yes. Look us up there and not father and son anymore.